are beginning to learn about nouns. Our first lesson today about nouns. And we've learned that a noun is a what? Person, place, or thing. There are two groups of things, and you're going to go into nouns more in depth tomorrow and on Monday. But there are two groups of things. There are concrete things and abstract things. So things in terms of nouns include everything from the concrete things are things you can touch or see, and then the abstract things are ideas or qualities, are also nouns. And so as we move through the lesson today and over the next few days, you're going to give us a lot of examples. We're going to look at a lot of examples so that you'll have mastery of what nouns are. So nouns are so important. They are, in fact, one of the two most important parts of speech. Of the 8 parts of speech that you're going to learn about, what do you think, other than nouns, is the other most important part of speech? Other than nouns. Who said verbs? Excellent. Verbs. Why do you think that nouns and verbs are considered the two most important parts of the 8 parts of speech? Why do you think?
I think verbs and nouns are most important in speech because verbs tell you an action that a person is doing, and noun isn't just saying
The subject is. Right. So, right, and that defines them. But the other thing, another thing about that is that nouns and verbs together, a noun and a verb together can do what? Express a what?
One is interruption. 8th grade teachers, please step to your doors.
I personally think the noun is the most powerful. And the reason I think that is because if we were as a class to take a trip to a foreign country to do a study abroad, where would you want to go? Paris. Okay. So we go to Paris, and we're in Paris, and let's say, or we're in France. We're in Paris for a day, but then we have to go out and study in the countryside where no one speaks English. Let's presume no one speaks English. They only speak French. And you have to get along, and we have to manage for 6 months in the Parisian countryside in France, where no one speaks English. What words would you have to learn first? Yeah, why? Other than greeting people, other than hi and how are you, what else would you want to learn? You're going to be there. What are you going to need that day, that first day? Okay, we said other than a greeting, you need directions. What else do you need? You've got to survive for, right, but you've got to survive for several days. What do you need what are you going to need? Food. Food is a what? Water is what? What kind of word is food? It's a thing, it's a noun. What kind of word is water? Water is a thing, it's a what? It's a noun. And someone said shoes, clothing, right? Shelter. So we're going, and so without knowing any verbs in French, if we learn those 5 words, food, bathroom, or clothing, shelter, water, in French, and those are all nouns, we can survive, right, without knowing any verbs or any of the other parts of speech. And that's why I say nouns are really the most important of the 8 parts of speech. Though they can't express a complete sentence by themselves, they can express a very powerful thought, and we reach for them. They tend to be the most important of the when we try to express ourselves. When we have to express ourselves for preparing for college, and in any career that you choose, we're going to have to understand the 8 parts of speech so that we can express our thoughts clearly. One example of that is when you're doing college essays. When you're doing essays to apply for college, you're going to need to be able to express your thoughts clearly so that you can compete. against other kids for spaces. What career is, give me an example of a career someone's interested in doing. Doctor, lawyer, okay, engineer. Okay, let's start with an attorney. Attorneys write all the time and they speak all the time, publicly, okay? And so attorneys have to understand the 8 parts of speech to be able to develop cases, to develop their cases, to write, you know, to develop their cases, and to speak before juries. They have to be able to speak intelligibly and understand the 8 parts of speech so that things are in order. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video that shows how songwriters, even in songwriting, we need to understand properly the 8 parts of speech. You have a song there in front of you. It's called My Favorite Things. It was written in 1959, and it is by Rodgers and Hammerstein, and we're going to sing it together. If someone else can go up right behind her, come along. Yeah, just come up. You don't have to raise your hands. Just go up. Okay, great job. Now let someone else. Great job. And there are a few more up there. Excellent.
Don't turn around, people.
Job. Excellent job. Just don't turn around. Good job. Okay, let's go and get one. Excellent job. You know what's very interesting in this class? Don't look at the, I see what you're doing, you artist, you. Don't look at that. Excellent job. Excellent job. Excellent job. Oh my goodness. Look at these students. You all have really been the brightest students of the day to do this so quickly. Except Silver. Silver can be a noun, and you're making a great point by underlining silver. Silver. Some of these words are nouns, but their role. I mean, they are words. The role of the word can change depending upon how it's used in the sentence. And silver is a great example of that. In this sentence, silver is not a noun. Yeah. Sometimes. What else is a noun in that sentence, though? A thing. A person, place, or thing. That's a good one. A person, place, or thing in that third sentence. Winters. Yes, exactly. Because they're what? Seasons, right? And they're things. They are abstract. They're in that. They're not concrete. They're excellent job. So we've gotten almost all of the nouns in this song. Now turn to that page that has the dashes on it. Right. Now try to read the song. What is the page with the dashes on it has all of the or most of the nouns removed. Most or all of the nouns removed. Now if someone could read that Zanaya, could you read the first line for me with the nouns removed?
Raindrops.
No, with the nouns removed.
Oh.
The highlight,
On and on. White carpet and warm blue. Brown paper tied up with
and how does that, now I see you squinching your face. Why are you squinching your face? Why? You should be squinching your face. Why are you squinching your face? With the nouns out, what? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So all those blank spaces are where nouns were, but this really shows, you're cool now. Yeah, you all did such a great job with that. Now, so when we look there, we see with the nouns out, we can see how important the nouns were to the passage. Because without the nouns, as Zanaya said, we can't understand the piece, right? So that's how important nouns are to our writing or to our speaking. If we speak or write without nouns, it would be difficult to make sense. All right, so now we're going to play a game that's called the longest list of nouns. It's the chart that's on the back page. and you can work in groups. And the object of this game is to list as many nouns as you can. Now, before we get started, and I think we only have about 5 minutes to do this. Before we get started, Professor Jones is going to give you credit for it. So you can work in groups. The object is to list as many nouns as you can. To sit there and brainstorm like crazy. List as many nouns as you can. If there are 2 of you together, you can move to another group that's larger. We're going to list and we're going to categorize the nouns. So for people, what would be examples of people?
Lady.
Persons. Lady.
Dad.
Great. Man. Girl. Boys. What else? Huh? Grandma. Family members. What about careers? Cousin. Basketball. What? Musician. Yep, all the careers are examples of people that are nouns. What about places? What are examples of places that are nouns? McDonald's, what else? King's Dominion. What about types of places? Not just the proper name of the place. Food, cities, any name of a city. Food would be an example of a thing. Richmond, right. Georgia, countries, foreign countries are all nouns, are places. What about where you came today? What's this? School. What about where you go on Sunday?
Church.
So anywhere you go, any place you go to is a place. Where do you go to play Frisbee? Park. All places. Where do you go to swim? Okay. So let's, then what about animals are easy. You can think about animals. Things. Things are anything. There are 2 types of things. Concrete things, which are things you can touch or see. And that would be, to help you brainstorm about that, think about anything in your house at home, anything in your cell phone, anything in your kitchen, anything you're wearing, anything in this room, anything outdoors, anything in the world that you can touch or see is a thing that's a noun. Now, there's another type of noun, of noun that's a thing, and they're abstract things that go in the last column. Those would be emotions, qualities, or ideas. What would be an example of a thing that you cannot touch or see? Air, or like here we had winter and spring seasons. You can't touch or see, but they're things, right? They would go in this last column. What about emotions? What would be an example of emotion that's a thing? Not happy is an adjective. Happy and sad, but how do you make those into nouns? How do you make happy into a noun?
Afternoon announcement.
Sadness is the
Once
noun.
again.